man. I know it's been a while. It's always been a while, man. I be too busy, man. You know what, man? Whenever I bring y'all a video, that's when I bring y'all a video. When I think I can bring y'all a video, I'm gonna bring y'all a video as I can try to bring the video when I can bring the video. I'm gonna try to bring the video sooner than what I've been doing, you know what I mean? But that's just what it is. Hey, check this out, man. I got a video here for y'all to watch, man. It's my boy Kevin. Great guy. He was on YouTube, but I don't know what happened. He got scared. The IRS told him he owed $16 million or something like that, and he just ran off. We ain't seen from him no more. But yeah, he put this video up on Facebook, and I'm gonna let y'all see the video. This has to do with the brokers and all that other crap going on in the trucking industry with all the coronavirus crap going on, and yeah. Y'all check it out. Let me know what you think. It's a pretty long video. Don't get me so. I mean, I can understand if you guys don't want to watch on the whole video, but he's very informative. He's actually educating us at the same time. He's a very smart guy, and yeah, check it out. Here you go, right here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So I wanted to make a part 2 to the video that I had originally put out about how brokers aren't the problem, and I kind of wanted to address some things that people had said in the comments. Concerns people had raised, questions, arguments that people had about, criticizing the message that I was putting out. And I just want to say first that I appreciate all the views. I appreciate all the shares, the interaction, the comments, all of that, because this is a conversation that we need to have. We need to get ideas on the table. People need to hear all sides of this thing that's going on. And I think it's important to hear the grievances people have. If people disagree with me or disagree with whatever, any other truck driver or any other protest or movement that's going on, we need to hear all sides and we need to listen to them. And I've listened to the comments that you guys have said, and I kind of want to, I guess, just answer them or put into perspective and context what I'm trying to say. So my main point that I'm trying to say is that if you are out here running a business, if you are an owner-operator and you own your truck and you are running your trucking business, you need to understand the business of trucking. It is your obligation to do research on the logistics industry. And the logistics industry is not just trucking. You need to know more than just how to drive the truck and how to talk to a broker. You need to know why we have brokers. You need to understand how shippers work, how logistics work, how freight works. People go to college for this, you guys. There are college courses on logistics and transportation, and those people end up being basically shipping managers for corporations and companies. They are the traffic manager or the shipping manager or the logistics manager at companies that move things in the transportation industry. So I'm not saying that you need to go do that you need to go, to college and get a degree. But what I'm saying is if you want to have a business in transportation, you need to understand transportation. One thing that we need to make absolutely clear is that brokers are a necessity in this industry. I know a lot of you are cringing hearing that because for some reason we've been taught that brokers are just this slimy, awful gremlin in the trucking industry, and they are the problems that we have. Like they are the reason for all the problems we have as brokers, but they are so essential to this industry. Do you understand that, let's say that you're a warehouse and you move 100 loads a day, right? Every single day you've got 100 new loads that are being put on trucks and sent out the door. If you're a logistics manager, a lot of you guys, say that we should cut out the brokers and we should go direct shipper to carrier. Imagine that, right? Imagine being the logistics manager at a warehouse where you have to call 100 different trucking carriers every day, and they're going to be different carriers because on Monday when you send out your 100 trucks, they can't, they're going all points across the country. They're not going to be available tomorrow on Tuesday. They're going to be out making those deliveries that you sent out on Monday. So every day it's 100 new carriers, right? You have to call each individual carrier. You have to negotiate a rate. You have to check their authority, make sure their authority is active, make sure their insurance is good, check their safety rating. Then once you do all of that, you got to send them a contract for this one particular load. You send them a contract that they can sign and agree to the terms. They have to send that back to you. Then they can come pick up the load. So let's say you spend 5 minutes with each carrier, which would be so conservative. We know it's a lot longer than that, but let's say you just spend 5 minutes with each carrier. Okay. You got 100 loads leaving. So you got 100 different carriers. That's 500 minutes that you're spending just in negotiations, checking their insurance, checking their authority, checking their safety rating, negotiating, contracts, everything. 500 minutes. That's 8.3 hours. 8.3 hours. You would have to have of 8.3 hours of time on the phone and faxing paperwork. You would have to have a whole entire team of people at just that one warehouse that are facilitating the deals between the carriers for every single day. What would those people be? Brokers. They would be in-house brokers at the shipper. So instead of having private brokerages, someone that's working in an office or someone that's working from home, instead of having private brokerages, you just take them and move them to the shipper, but they still exist. You would still have brokers, you guys. A shipper, it's so much easier for a shipper because the traffic manager or logistics manager or whatever you want to call them, when they, start their day, they've got 100 loads. The sales department at their company says, we got 100 orders. I need them moved. So the traffic manager looks at these 100 orders. He's got to build these orders. He's got to put them together. He's got to make sure that they get on the pallets, that they get, organized correctly. They get put out and ready to go. He's coordinating with the forklift drivers. He's coordinating with everyone in the warehouse to make sure that these orders are getting built properly and put on trucks and out the door. It's so much easier and it makes a lot more sense. It's actually way more efficient for him to take those 100 loads and call a broker or call 1 or 2 or 3 brokers and say, hey, I got 100 loads today. I need them moved. And the broker says, all right. And, the broker puts together a quote and says, this is how much it's going to cost you to have these loads moved. And the shipper, agrees. And then he sends those out to the broker. And then the shipper can focus on building those loads, putting them on pallets, getting them all set and ready to go, so that they can start, when the trucks start rolling in, they can get those on the trucks and out the door. So it's way more efficient for him to just call a third party, 1 or 2 or 3 different brokers, and have them, match the loads with carriers. So, they're essential in this industry, you guys. They are our business partners. Okay. They are doing the legwork of finding the customers and finding the freight. If you want to do that on your own, do it. By all means, do it. But it's a lot of work. You're going to make hundreds of phone calls a day just to be told no. That because you can't really be that efficient. If you find a direct customer, let's say in Houston, Texas, and you go pick up that load on Monday and you're taking it to Seattle, well, by the time you get to Denver, let's say on Tuesday, they're calling you and saying, hey, I got another load for you. I got another load, Mr. Truck Driver. And you're like, well, I'm not even done delivering this load that you gave me on Monday. I'll get to Seattle on Wednesday or Thursday or whenever. I'll get up there on Thursday, and then I can try to make my way back and maybe I'll pick it up next week. And he's going to say, oh, I don't have that much time. I'm going to go find somebody else. Like, even when you have direct customers, you can't serve them like a broker can serve them, because a broker can have new trucks coming in every single day to move the freight. Another point that I wanted to make too is a lot of people on my video commented about, oh no, they still have, these brokers have contracted rates. The rates are set, at the beginning of the year, which again, you guys, study the transportation industry. Please, it's in your best interest. You are in the transportation industry. Study it. Go learn. Is this actually true, what I'm hearing? Is it true that these rates are set at the beginning of the year for most shippers and that they don't get negotiated throughout the year? Go do some education, please. It will benefit your business. But let's just, for sake of argument, say that's true. Let's say that the rates are set at the beginning of the year and they're set at $3 a mile. So don't haul anything for less than $2 a mile or $2.25 or $2.50 a mile. Don't do it. Like, if that's the case, if the broker has that much money in the load, then don't haul it for, $1.45 a mile. The idea that these loads are contracted like that is crazy enough to begin with. and that these prices stay, high on the shipper and broker end of things, and then they go low on the truck driver end of things. I mean, does price gouging happen in this industry? Absolutely it does. You can't even really call it price gouging. What you would call it is people getting suckered. Truck drivers getting suckered into accepting low rates is what it is. Truck drivers not having good business sense. All these new owner operators getting into the business, thinking that $1 a mile is good money because they just came from a company driver position where they were making 40 cents a mile, and now they're making $1 a mile, and they don't understand that it costs $1.20 a mile to run the truck down the road. They just see somebody is paying me $1 a mile, yippee. But it's not the fault of the broker that people are making uneducated decisions in this industry. It's the fault of the truck driver themselves. It'd be the same as, if you went to go buy a couch from a furniture store and the couch is worth $1,000, but you got suckered into paying $8,000 for the couch. Like, that's not the salesman's fault. Is the salesman dirty for doing that? Yeah. But should you have done your research to find out the item that you're buying, what it's worth? Yes. And if you didn't do that research and you purchased that $1,000 couch for $8,000, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you other than you screwed up. You made a mistake. So, these truck drivers that are out here that are hauling for peanuts, that are driving the rates down, is that the fault of the broker? I mean, nobody is holding a gun to these truck drivers' heads and saying, you need to move this load or I'm going to kill you. Nobody is saying that. These loads are being moved with the acceptance, the written consent of each carrier saying, I accept these terms. It is a consensual agreement. It's a consensual transaction. It's a consensual contract. These drivers are agreeing to these terms. So why would you fault the broker for that? And if they are contracted, let's go back to the idea that these freight rates are contracted at the beginning of the year and they never change and they're at $3 or $4 a mile. Don't move anything for less than $2.50 a mile. But also on top of that, why are we so against the brokers making money too? When we as truck drivers, you guys remember how good the rates were in 2017 and 2018? You guys remember how good things were? I didn't hear anybody saying that they wanted to give more money to somebody else. They felt bad because they were making too much money. How many drivers were out here making $1.50 to $2 a mile profit? Probably a few. Like, I remember I was pulling flatbed during that time, and there were some loads I was pulling that I couldn't believe the amount of money that I was making. Should I have turned around because I was making such a large profit? I was covering my expenses, no problem. And then on top of that, making like $1.50, $1.75 a mile profit. Should I have turned around and given some of that money back to the brokers? Should I have given some of that money back to the shipper? I mean, why is it that when we're making good money, everything's okay? But then when the brokers make good money, how dare they? Right? How dare they? Nobody is forcing you to haul these loads, you guys. If you really think that brokers are as slimy as they are, go get your own customers. Seriously. And let's go back to what I said about transportation managers and shipping managers, these people that run these warehouses and move these loads. Remember how I said they're college educated? They usually have a degree in logistics or whatever you would call it. They know to watch the freight markets, you guys. There's a thing called trend lines. There's a lot of other resources you can use, but the one that I use is by DAT, and it's called Trend Lines. Just Google DAT Trend Lines, and it will show you the market average, spot market average for dry van, flatbed, and reefer freight. And then it will break it down by segment in the country. You'll have the Northeast, the Southeast, the Central South, the Midwest, and the West Coast and Pacific Northwest. And it will show you, for each division, it will show you the average rate that freight is being booked for. Okay, these transportation managers and these logistics managers that have a degree in logistics, that is what they live and breathe, is the logistics industry. They do check freight rates. They do check and see what the spot market is doing, you guys. So this idea that I've had several people comment and say, oh, the shippers have no idea what the freight rates are. It's all the brokers. The brokers are the ones that are, gouging the prices. These shippers know what the freight rates are doing. They're in the logistics industry. It is their job to understand what the freight rates are doing. It is their job to try and save money, right? All the fucking bean counters, up at these large corporations, these CFOs and these CEOs and these COOs and these, all these people that watch how much money is coming in and going out of their corporations. They look at, hey, what are our shipping costs? Okay. And then they look and see, well, what is the shipping market doing? Well, our shipping costs, we haul most of our stuff on a dry van. Our shipping costs are up around $2.75, $3 a mile. But the market average right now for dry van is $1.59 a mile. What is going on? And they'll want to know what's going on. They'll want answers, and they'll talk to their traffic manager, their logistics manager, and they'll say, what are you doing? You are wasting money. You are paying twice what we should be paying. You're fired. That's what happens. So these logistics managers, their job is to check the freight rates. Okay. They know what they should be paying. So if the average freight rates are $1.50 a mile for dry van, if that's what drivers are accepting, that's what freight gets moved at, right? They will tell their brokers, you better be brokering me, you better be quoting me somewhere near $1.50 a mile to get these loads moved. I know you have to make some money and you provide a service, so we understand that you have to, incorporate your profit into this, but you better be somewhere around $1.60, $1.75 a mile. Something like that, to get these loads moved, because the freight rate average for dry van is $1.50. I'll give you a 10 or 15 cent a mile profit. I can agree with that, but you better get these loads moved for our cost at about $1.75 a mile as the shipper. And if you can't do that, I will find another broker that can do that. So this idea that the brokers are the ones who are still booking freight by the shipper, who they check the freight rates. I promise you they do, you guys. They are the people who decide whether or not stuff moves in these industries. They study logistics. They have degrees in logistics. They are not paying what you think they're paying to have stuff moved. And the price gouging isn't going on. I should say price gouging, because it's not price gouging. You guys are accepting these rates. You are being fooled. You are being taken advantage of on your own merit, on your own acceptance, because when you sign that rate con and you agree to haul something for $1.50 a mile, like, you're agreeing to be taking advantage of. It's unbelievable to me. But anyways, there's a lot that I could say, you guys. There's a lot that I could go into about this whole thing. But if you want to talk with me directly, seriously, if you want to have me explain this to you, or you still seriously disagree with me and you can't stand what I'm saying, come talk to me. There's an app called Zello. I'll spell it for you. Zello. I'll put it in the description of this video too. Zello. Download that app. It's a walkie-talkie app. It's a push-to-talk app. It's like a CB radio, but for your phone. And look for the room called RTI. Real Trucking Information. RTI. Come find me in there. I hang out in there every day. I'm in there all day, every day. Come talk to me and the people, my friends that hang out in there, and let's talk about this. Let's see if we can't get you to understand my point and maybe me to understand your point. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that truck drivers need to come together. Truck drivers need to educate each other. We need to understand this industry. If somebody knows something that you don't, you need to learn from them, and if vice versa. We all need to know. We all need to have a one direction that we want to go as a whole industry. We all want to make more money, and we all just want to see each other get better at this trucking thing. We want to see each other's businesses grow. And we only do that by talking and getting our ideas out there and finding out exactly what's going on. And I think the biggest thing right now, and I don't mean this in an offensive way, I just mean it's my observation, that a lot of you are uneducated on trucking business and logistics. I shouldn't say trucking business. You're uneducated on logistics business. You understand trucking, right? You understand trucking very well. You've been doing it for years. If not that, you've been doing it for decades. You understand truck driving. But do you understand logistics? And if you don't, you need to, because that's the business that you're in. And if you want your business to flourish, you need to understand logistics. So come find me, guys. Share this video, comment, do whatever. Tell me that I'm an idiot and that I'm actually just a broker and somebody paid me to sit in this truck. I don't care. Tell me whatever. Thanks for watching.
So, all right. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments about this, man. I watched the whole video. I don't know if you guys watched the whole video. If you're looking at this, you probably did, or you skipped through. I don't know, but hey, that's up to you. But truckers, man, y'all need to educate yourself about this business. I'm not even an owner-operator, and, you know, I understand that side of the business, man. That's why I do all my don't do the lease purchase videos, you know, back in the day what I was doing. And all that stuff like that, because you have to understand the business. You guys just jump out there and, you know, you hear, oh, I'm going to be making more money, you know, and the companies push this lease on you and this and that, and it's all about the book crap. But appreciate y'all watching, man, and yeah, take it easy and keep it breezy. Keep it in between the ditches and stitches and the mustard and mayonnaise. We got to make a way there, 10-4.